Alright, so today we're going to look at 8th grade, Unit 7, Exponents in Scientific Notation, Lesson 3. So our warm-up says, what is the volume of a giant cube that measures 10,000 kilometers on each side? So the volume of a cube would be length times width times height. For a cube, all of those measurements are the same. And we could write that using exponents. 10,000 to the third kilometers to the third cubed. So we're going to look at powers of 10. And before we do that, I wanted to work with you on this. So w to the third to the fourth. So if we write that out in expanded form, we could write w to the third times w to the third times w to the third times w to the third. So here's to the first, second, third, fourth power, w to the third. So from there, if you want to expand it on out from that, there we go. W to the third, w to the third, w to the third, w to the third. So if I rewrite this using just exponents, that would be w to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. W to the 12th. Comparing the exponent in part B to the exponents in the original problem. What operation can be used on the original problem? So from this to this, what operation did we use on the exponents? The second one, w to the second to the third. So w to the second to the third power. So I'm going to write that 3 times. And if I break it down even further, decompose it further, each of those W2s would be WW. And if I rewrite that expression using exponents, it would be W to the 6th. So how do I go from this to this with the exponents? What do I do with those exponents? H to the second t to the 5th power. So all of that stuff that's in the parentheses repeats 5 times. There's once, there's twice, 3 times, 4 times, 'Alright, if I expand it even further, HH, T 5 times, and then if I put it all together, how many H's do I have? 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10. So H to the 10th, then how many T's do I have? So what operation did I use from the original problem here to get to my final simplest expression here? What did I do with those exponents? These next two, in case they pop up, I want to show you what they look like. So everything in the parentheses repeats 3 times. That's what this means. Everything in the parentheses repeats 3 times. So that means d to the second over m times d to the second over m times d to the second over m. And if we continue decomposing that, that would be, break all the d squares down to d times d. So there's 3 sets of those. And then m times m on the bottom. So if I rewrote that just using exponents, that'd be d to the 6th over m to the 3rd. What do we do from here to get to here? What do we do with those exponents? What operation? I'm going to have to erase this. This is in the way. Okay, so this one, last one, b to the 3rd divided by w to the 4th to the 3rd power. So everything inside there, the parentheses, it repeats 3 times. So that's b to the 3rd over w to the 4th times b to the 3rd w to the 4th times b to the 3rd times w to the 4th. And if I decompose that farther, b times 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 b over 4 w's, 4 more w's, excuse me, and last set. So to simplify it, that'd be b to the 9th and w to the 12th. So hopefully you guys have figured out the pattern of what's happening when we have a power raised to a power. So for activity 1, and this is in your red folder, complete the table to explore patterns in the exponents when raising a power of 10 to a power. You may skip a single box in the table, but if you do, be prepared to explain why you skipped it. So right here, how many 10s? They've already expanded it out for us. How many 10s do we have? So if we count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so then we have 10 to the 3rd repeated 4 times here. So in parentheses I'll have alright, this is being silly. Alright, I'm just gonna write maybe 10 to the 3rd to the 4th power. Alright, so there's that. Now, altogether, I have 10 to the 12th. And if I wrote this out, 10 to the 4th and we have 2 sets of that. So there we go. How much do I have altogether? That would be, if you chose to skip an entry in the table, which entry did you choose to skip and why? Alright. Use the patterns you found on the table to rewrite 10m in parentheses to the nth power as an equivalent expression with a single exponent. If you took the amount of oil consumed in 2 months in 2013 worldwide, you can make a cube of oil that measures 10 to the 3rd meters on each side. How many cubic meters of oil is this? Do you think this would be enough to fill a pond, lake, or ocean? Andre and Elena want to write 10 to the 2nd times 10 to the 2nd times 10 to the 2nd with a single exponent. Andre says when you multiply powers with the same base, you just add the exponents. So 10 to the 6th. Elena says 10 to the 2nd is multiplied by itself 3 times. So 10 to the 2nd times 10 to the 2nd times 10 to the 2nd is 10 to the 2nd to the 3rd power, which is 10 to the 2nd plus 3, which is 10 to the 5th. Do you agree with either of them? And explain. That's all we have for today. Thanks for